Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have another Shop My Stash video. I absolutely love filming these videos. I believe I did one back in May or June a couple of months ago, and I really loved filming it. I just love the whole concept of showing love to products that are already in your collection and going shopping in your makeup collection, because if you guys are like me and you have a pretty large makeup collection, a lot of products seem to get lost, and it's really important for me to make sure that I really go through what I have and show love to everything that I own. So I like the concept of Shop My Stash videos because they really help me to focus on that. So for today's video, I am going to be shopping my stash for drugstore and indie brand makeup products. I've just been enjoying using more drugstore makeup and putting more drugstore content out on my channel for you guys. So I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video, and if you want to see me shop my stash and then use the products for a makeup look, make sure to keep on watching. Going on into my first drawer for today's Shop My Stash. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned it in the intro, but today's theme, I'm going to go for an all drugstore slash indie brand type of look. I'm not going to be using any high-end products today, except for in my eyebrows, just to save some time. My eyebrows are already done and I did use my brow wiz to do so, but you guys, if you're following along, can totally replace that step with any one of your favorite drugstore eyebrow pencils. Honestly, I just haven't found a drugstore eyebrow pencil that lives up to my brow wiz. So I'm going to be picking out some other things for today's look. I think I want to go fun, summery, glowy, just like fun and fresh type of look. So I am going to be picking out these LA Girl eyeliners. The reason that I'm saying I'm picking out drugstore and indie brands is because I'm not sure if a brand like LA Girl would be considered drugstore or indie, but I really love these colorful eyeliners. I definitely want to pick up all of the colorful shades in these. These are the best. They are very long lasting even in the summer heat. Of course, I haven't picked out my eyeshadow yet, so I don't know which color is going to look best. So I'm just going to take all three of them. For mascaras, there are always so many to choose from. I definitely have to go through what I have. I really do like this new Carroty Bold Mood. This was just sent to me in PR, but I definitely feel like it's a little bit more on the natural side, which honestly might be good for today's look. So I think I'm going to pull this one, but I know I want something waterproof as well for the summertime. These two are waterproof. I believe the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl is waterproof because that one does not come off. I think I'm gonna go with the Total Temptation because this is something that I definitely have to start using up. You guys know me, I honestly don't have that many drugstore eyeshadows, and I feel like I always use the same ones over and over again here on my channel. The e.l.f. Bite Size Quads are some of my favorite, but I feel like I use these a ton. For eyeshadow, I recently just used and tested this on my channel, which is e.l.f.'s Retro Paradise. I feel like this is a really great palette for the summer. I might try to work with this today, so I'm going to pull this. I really like some of these blues. I might do like an all over blue look that I recently posted on my Instagram. I did like a 70s inspired blue look, so I might pull this and do something similar just to keep the eyeshadow simple and just to use something different on my channel. So I think I've decided that I want to go pretty colorful for today's look, and I just saw back here this pigment that I have from Colourpop. I actually won this in a giveaway. This is one of Colourpop's pigments from their Honey collection, I believe, and it keeps going out of focus, but this is in the shade Fool for You. And I honestly think if we're just gonna go colorful today, we should go all out. This might be cute like on the inner corner or something, and I've never used a bright yellow pigment. All right, so in my next drawer down, I'm going to be shopping for bronzer, blush, and highlighter. For blush, I definitely already have an idea of the one that I want to use, or at least like a color that I want to use. I definitely want to go more like bright peachy pink. This one from e.l.f. is really cute. This is in the shade Twinkle Pink. This is like a good NARS dupe. It's like a super bright kind of corally pink shade. I also have e.l.f.'s Always Peachy right here, but I feel like I use this a ton on my channel recently, but I know I want to go for that bright vibe. I think I'm going to go with Milani Luminoso, which was the first one that I picked up when I opened this drawer, just because it's that perfect mix of being like bright but not too intense, while also having a nice luminosity to it. My camera is not focusing very well today. There we go. Maybe you guys can see. It's just a beautiful swirled baked blush. Okay, wait, I'm kidding. I totally just realized I don't have Luminoso. For some reason, I thought I did. This is actually in the shade 02 Rose d'Oro, which is kind of like a peachy pink shade too. The other one that I have is a little bit more mauve-y. This is Berry Amore. Rose d'Oro still has that like pinky peachy vibe, luminous vibe I'm going for, so I'm still going to pull that one out for today. For highlighter, I think I'm going to use another Milani product. This is like their strobe palette, I believe, their Stellar Lights palette in 03 Rose Glow. I've been using this for the past few days and it just makes for a beautiful, intense highlighter, especially on my skin tone. I've been liking mixing together these first two shades. So I think I'm going to use this for highlighter. This was the highlighter I was wearing in my Amazon video that I just uploaded, and it looks really gorgeous on camera. So I honestly don't have many drugstore bronzers to use. So I have the e.l.f. one, I have the NYC Sunny, which is honestly so old. Do I even want to put this on my face? I don't know that this is even available anymore. If you guys remember NYC Sunny bronzer, definitely give this video a thumbs up. It is so classic. I have this Wet n Wild bronzer, which is okay. It's a little light for my skin tone. I actually featured this in a video of full face of makeup I don't like, because this isn't my favorite. It's just like a weird shimmery sheer formula, and it's very, very orange on the skin, so I'm probably gonna pass on that one. I also have this Milani bronzer, but it's a little bit too cool tone for me in the summer. I might pull this out just to contour my nose, but in the summer it's a little bit too gray on my skin tone, so I'm probably going to go with the e.l.f. primer infused bronzer, even though I feel like I've been using this a ton on my channel and I really want to switch up what I'm using. This is honestly the only drugstore bronzer that I have that I truly love, so I'm going to pull both of these, one for bronzer and then one for nose contour. Right off the bat, I know what foundation I'm going to use today because there's only one in my whole collection that actually matches me right now, and that is the Maybelline Superstay foundation in the shade 130. But I do have a pretty decent tan right now, and this is the only thing that I think will match me. Yeah, I even think this e.l.f. one, which was a little dark on me, might still be too light. I was out by the pool like all weekend and I have gotten a decent tan, so this is the only one that'll match me. So just for the sake of looking decent, I'm going to pick out this one. Although it's summer and I typically like to look a little bit more matte in the summer, I really want to play around with this Milani Prime Perfection face primer. This is really hydrating and this gives the most intense glow to the face. After a couple of hours of wearing this, I am borderline oily, but I feel like for the summer that's kind of pretty, especially for pictures or just staying inside or something like that. It's a really pretty primer, so I am going to use this today despite knowing that I'm going to get shiny in a few hours, but it's fine. I'm not going anywhere today. Just to mattify and kind of fill in some pores on a few key areas of my face, I think I'm going to use this e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer, which I haven't used in months now. This used to be my favorite primer ever here on my channel, and I haven't used it in a little while, so I'm going to pull this out just to help fill in some pores and smooth the face. Definitely a lot of Milani in today's video, but I just really love their products and I feel like I don't show them on my channel a lot. So to set everything, although this does have alcohol in it and it's not my favorite thing to use, just to make sure my makeup lasts a long time during the summer, I'm going to use the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Moving on over to my next set of drawers, there are a ton of drugstore concealers to pick from, but again, I want to use something that I don't use all of the time here on my channel. I know I use the e.l.f. ones a lot, both the hydrating and the original camo. The Milani one is good, but I have a lot of Milani already in this video. I think I'm gonna go for my Colourpop concealers. I used to use these all of the time and I feel like I haven't used them in a bit. So it might be interesting to see if I still Love these. And I do think I have a shade that is going to match me in the summer, which is this one right here, which is the shade Light 18. I believe lastly for the face, I'm going to pull a powder. You guys know me. Typically, I will go for a loose powder. And I think today I'm actually going to grab the Maybelline one. I haven't used this in a little while. I've been really bouncing back between the e.l.f. Halo Glow and the Milani Make It Last, which have been my two favorites. But I'm gonna pull this out to show this some love, and it probably could be used up, so I'm gonna use this one today. Picking out a lip shade is always the hardest thing in these videos because I don't know exactly what type of look I'm going for. Well, I have an idea, but I don't know how it's going to turn out, if it's going to turn out exactly how I want it to. So I think I'm just going to pull a few separate options. For lip liner, I'm going to pull the Haus Laboratories lip liner in Endpoint. Oh wait, no, but is Haus Labs considered drugstore or indie? Maybe it's not. I don't really know what Haus Labs is considered, so just to make sure I'm being fair here, I'm going to pull this Colourpop Lippy Pencil. This one is in the shade Little One. And then I'm also going to pull, oh my gosh, I was gonna pull Anastasia, but that's obviously not drugstore or indie. This is like my favorite peach lipstick. While I think about lipstick, this lip gloss is calling my name right now. This is e.l.f.'s Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade, I don't know, this doesn't have a shade on it, just some numbers. If I could find it, I will definitely have that listed down below. But I think I'm definitely going to use these two together, and I think I'm going to pick from the top of my vanity for a lipstick. Up here on my vanity, I keep Milani lipsticks, Joa lipsticks, Colourpop, and one Charlotte Tilbury. So I could pretty much pick from all of them besides the Charlotte Tilbury, but I think I'm going to go with one of my classic favorites, Colourpop What's Your Sign. I just feel like it's the most universal peachy shade, but this is seriously my favorite lipstick of all time. If you guys were wondering, this is what it looks like. This on me is literally just like one of those classic nudes, literally goes with everything. I definitely think that these three products together are going to make a beautiful lip combination. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me pick out all of the products. I always have so much fun doing that, as I mentioned, just really going through and seeing what I have and using products that I haven't used in a while either. So as I mentioned, when I was picking out the makeup, I think for today's look, I want to go colorful. I just want to go fun for the summer. I know it's pretty rare that I play around with a lot of color here on my channel, but I just figured why not? We could just have some fun today with makeup. As you guys saw, the eyeshadow palette that I picked out today, I don't have a ton of drugstore eyeshadow. I would say that's probably my least favorite thing to shop for from the drugstore, but I do have this e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette that I recently tested out here on my channel. If you guys want to see me test that out and create a couple of different looks, definitely make sure to go check out that video. Kind of moral of the story, some shades in here are better than others. The palette is not absolutely mind-blowing, but some of the colors are still fun to play around with for the summer. And I think today I want to use this blue Sip Sip shade like all over my eye, just to have a very fun blue kind of all over look. I'm going to go in with this peachy shade right here, which is called Fuego, and just run that lightly in the crease to give me a little bit of a transition shade. This is a very light peach. It's barely going to give me a transition, but it's just going to add a little bit more depth to the look. I find that when I use just like a one color type of shimmer, I don't get that depth. So I just want to deepen up the crease a little tiny bit, and this is the perfect shade for that. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite shade in this whole palette. I raved about this when I first tested out the palette. It was just, no doubt about it, a standout within all of these shades in here. And that is the light teal blue shade right here, which is called Sip Sip. I think this is the best shade in the whole entire palette. So I'm just going to start applying this to my whole lid. First, I'm gonna start off on a dry brush and just really press it onto the lid. I mean, look at that. Hi, it's so gorgeous. Now that I have a little bit of the color laid down with the brush, I'm just going to go in with the color on my finger and just really start patting this to intensify it, but also just start bringing it up. I don't want this to be like a perfect structured lid shade. I really want to bring this up pretty high, almost like into the crease as well. blending up and fading up into that transition. So again, just doing the same thing on the other eye. You guys can totally wet these as well. I personally don't really think that they need water, even on a brush. Just look at how nicely that's applying. Oh my God, this shade, you guys, it makes me like excited when I put it on my lid. It is so gorgeous. Honestly, the shade alone I feel like was worth the $14 that I paid for the palette because it's just so good. Now for eyeliner, you guys saw me pull out these LA Girl Shockwave Neon eyeliners. These are some of my favorite makeup products for the summer because they really just add so much to a look. They are so affordable, very easy to use. I believe they're like $3.99 or something like that at Ulta. I have 3 colors in these right now. I have Screamin', which is the yellow one. I have Electric, which is the medium blue, and then I also have Fresh, which is the bright kind of teal green. The other day when I did a look similar to this for the 70s look that I posted on my Instagram, I was very tempted to go for the blue eyeliner just because it matched, but something in me was telling me to go for the yellow, and I was so happy that I did. This looked so fun. It really opened my eyes and just kind of broke up that whole monochromatic blue vibe. So I'm going to go in with the yellow eyeliner today, and this looks so good. These eyeliners are so much fun. I definitely would say that these eyeliners take a little blending up. They're not going to be super neon right off the bat, especially if your waterline is a little bit wet. But just wait for your waterline to dry a little bit, and if you just keep going over it, it gets really neon and intense, like this eye over here. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to throw on some mascara, and this is the Maybelline Total Temptation Waterproof that you guys watched me pick out. I really love the Total Temptation mascaras, even the original one as well as the waterproof. I find that as far as the formulas look, they're really not that different, but overall it's one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. But if you guys want to see my top 5, I do have a whole dedicated video on that as well. All right, so I am loving the eyes so far. Very fun and colorful, yet still simple for the summer. Moving on to the skin, you guys saw me pick out a couple of different things. I want to go for like a glowy yet still full coverage type of look. So for primer, I picked out Milani's Prime Perfection Face Primer in the oil-free and hydrating version. I mentioned this when I was picking it out, but this is very, very hydrating. If you have oily skin, I would stay away from this because this actually makes me look like I have pretty oily skin after a couple hours of wearing it. So it's just like a lotion consistency. I do believe they make these primers in a mattifying version as well as one with SPF if that is something that you guys are interested in. But I really enjoy this one for adding a glow underneath my foundation. This smells kind of minty to me, but I'm not able to like pinpoint exactly what it is. I don't think that it has any fragrance in it. Let me see. Isn't menthone like minty, or is that menthol? Menthol. Or is that the same thing? I don't really know. I'm not an ingredient expert, but something in here smells a little bit minty and it feels kind of cooling on the face. I'm going to take a huge throwback product here on my channel, and that is e.l.f.'s Mineral Infused Face Primer. I used to use this literally all of the time, every single day. It was the only primer that I ever really used to do my makeup. So this is like a really thick, those clear silicone primers that really do a lot of smoothing and pore filling. I'm just going to take this right on the center of my face just to try to mattify those areas and fill in any pores and smooth out any texture. The foundation that I picked out to use is my favorite Maybelline 24 Hour Superstay. As I mentioned earlier, I know that I use this all of the time because this is my favorite formula, especially in the summer. This lasts so long. Although I don't find myself wearing foundation every single day, in the summer I typically only wear foundation when I'm filming videos, but I feel like this is the only foundation that I have right now that's going to match me. If you guys can see, my arms and my chest do have a pretty decent tan. If I need to go lighter, I totally will, but I have a feeling that this is going to, yeah, I think that's going to match me perfectly. That looks so pretty on top of those primers. My skin looks so smooth. To conceal my under eyes today, I'm going to be using one of my favorite affordable indie brand concealers, and those are the Colourpop No Filter concealers. These have such an amazing formula, kind of like settled a little bit. I'm just gonna shake it up. These have such an amazing formula. I've used up a ton. If you guys can see into the tube, I've used up so much of it. They're just a very unique formula. I wouldn't say that they remind me too much of any certain concealer like the Tarte or Too Faced or anything like that. They're a very unique, just on their own type of formula, and I love them. I absolutely love how creamy these concealers are, and they have amazing coverage, and one dip into the tube goes such a long way. I'll show you guys that this is still just one dip, and I'm able to cover both of my under eyes, and I'm still going here. It just has a lot of pigment to it, and you don't need to use a lot of product to get a really great coverage. So now I'm gonna go in and set everything with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder that I picked out. I haven't used this powder in a little while, so I'm curious to see if I still love it. It might be a little light for me. Oh yeah, I don't want there to be like a white cast on top of my foundation, but I think it'll blend in nicely when I press it in. This is such a nice powder too. I just love loose powder over pressed powder so much, and this one and the other ones that I mentioned earlier, they just make the skin look so smooth. Now I'm going to go in with some bronzer. I really love how my base and my skin is looking. It looks really nice and smooth and flawless. I really like the combination of the primers that I used today. So for bronzer, I'm going in with e.l.f.'s Primer Infused Bronzer. Love this bronzer so much for the summertime, especially because this shade is nice and warm, really bronzy, but I really like the formula of these primer infused bronzers, and I really like this shade again, which is Perpetually Tan. All right, so my camera did die, so if there's a slight change in frame or anything like that, that is why. But now I'm going to be moving on to the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in the shade 02 Sunkissed. I'm going to take it on that same brush just so I get a little bit of the e.l.f. bronzer mixed into it. And I'm just going to take this to start chiseling and contouring out the sides of my nose. Blush is Milani's Rose d'Oro blush. I love these baked blushes. I know I thought when I was picking out the makeup that this was Luminoso, but I really think I want to get my hands on Luminoso as well, just because it's that kind of peachy shade that I like to use a lot, but this one is pretty similar, I would say. It might just be a little bit more pink. I really enjoy these blushes for a nice light wash of color. I love that it has that luminosity to it. So it's just perfect for the summertime. I'm just going to quickly jump back to the eyes so I could finish that up before I do highlighter. So I'm going to take another one of the LA Girl Neon Shockwave eyeliners. I'm taking the shade Fresh, which is the teal light blue shade. And I'm going to apply this underneath my eye, not in the waterline, but underneath the yellow to act as a base for our eyeshadow. This is just going to make it really intense. I'm just going to go in with the same Sip Sip eyeshadow that I have been using on my eye and set the eyeliner using this, and also to add a little shimmer to the bottom lash line. This next step I'm a little unsure about, but I think I'm going to try it. We're just playing around here. So I'm going to be using the Colourpop pigment that I showed you guys when I was shopping my stash in the shade Fool for You. It's a beautiful, like, intense bright yellow pigment. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of glitter glue on my inner corner just so the pigment sticks. I don't want yellow falling like all over my face. So I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit of glitter glue right in that inner corner. Although this isn't glitter, I definitely feel like it will help the loose pigment stick down a little bit better. Ooh, that's actually kind of pretty. Hold on, I think I need more. Ooh, okay, that's really pretty. That's making a really nice inner corner highlight shade. I love that. I love this a lot, you guys. This is such a fun idea. I think even if you're doing like a more neutral makeup and you want a pop of color, I love that pop of yellow on the inner corner. And this was a lot easier to work with than I thought. Just a little bit of glitter glue and some spray. It might honestly work with just spray, but I just wanted to be extra sure. This is a really, really pretty color for the inner corner. I like this a lot. Finally, the eyeshadow is officially all done. I'm just going to pop on some lower lash mascara, and I'm going to be using the Carity Bold Mood Mascara. This was sent to me in PR. I have tried this a couple times. I do like it. I don't know if the formula is still just like a little bit like wet, but I find that it is a pretty natural looking mascara, and that I have been preferring this on my lower lashes compared to my top lashes. But sometimes mascara just needs to be open for a couple weeks, and then I start getting that desired effect that I want. So I'm just going to quickly just pop some of this on my lower lashes. So those are the lower lashes. As I'm sure you guys can see, it is just like a little bit more of a natural looking formula, but I really like that on my lower lashes, because I don't like when my lower lashes are too thick or too black or too spidery. I just like a little coat of mascara down there. So far this has been really nice, but I just wanted to say that I love this packaging. I feel like it's very unique. It's like what do you call that, like that soft touch material. I really, really like this, but I will definitely keep you guys updated on this. But so far I am preferring this on my lower lashes. Lastly, to finish up the face, I'm going in with the Milani Stellar Lights palette, and I'm going to be using the shade Pearl and Golden Quartz combined to get a really beautiful, like an in-between champagne-y shade. I kind of just go back and forth between the two until it's a shade that I like. Kind of somewhere right around that shade is good for me, but like, whoa, this is so intense. As I suspected, this look definitely turned out colorful, so I want to keep the lips a little bit more muted. So I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop Little One lip liner. This is a little bit more of a deep nude than I wanted for today, so I'm just gonna apply it really, really lightly. Now for lips, I'm just going to fill them in with What's Your Sign lipstick. My favorite ever. Oh, this is so creamy. I forgot how good this formula was. And now I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of this e.l.f. lip plumping gloss right in the center. I don't know exactly what shade this is, but it has a little bit of a peachy gold reflect, which is beautiful. Ooh, that's feeling tingly. I wonder if this actually plumps. All right, you guys, so that is going to complete this video. Here is the final makeup look using Drugstore and indie brand makeup that I shopped from my stash today. As I mentioned in the intro, I really love filming these types of videos. I love shopping my stash and just shopping within my own collection to really try and show love to a bunch of different products, because I do tend to fall into a pattern of using these same products over and over, or older products just getting pushed to the back of my drawer when I'm constantly trying new things and buying new makeup. So I just really love filming these videos, just again so I could show love to all of the makeup in my collection. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this makeup look and spending time with me today. If you did, and if you want to see more Shop My Stash videos in the future, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.